The leaders of Earth gathered inside the United Nations control room. A giant screen flashed with the symbol of the Galactic Empire, a black eagle with burning red eyes. The room was silent. No one spoke. Everyone waited for the message. Suddenly, the face of a tall, gray-skinned alien appeared. His eyes were cold. His voice was full of pride. "You are nothing but insects to us," he said, laughing. "Your planet is weak. Your people are small. You do not belong in the galaxy. Bow down to the Galactic Empire or be destroyed." The transmission ended. The screen turned black. The leaders sat frozen, their faces pale. Fear spread like poison in the room. News of the message traveled fast. Across Earth, people watched the Empire's mocking words again and again on their screens. Cities that were once full of life became quiet. Streets were empty. Hope was dying. Children cried. Parents held them close, whispering lies they barely believed. "It will be okay," they said. But in their hearts, they knew. Earth was too small, too weak to fight back. The Galactic Empire controlled 1,000 worlds. Their fleets were massive. Their weapons could destroy a city with one shot. How could Earth stand against them? It seemed like the end. But not for everyone. Hidden deep under the Rocky Mountains, inside a secret base called Project Phantom, Earth's last hope was alive. A small team of scientists and engineers worked day and night. Their leader, Dr. Elena Cross, was a woman with sharp eyes and a sharper mind. "We don't need to fight them face to face," she told her team. "We just need to hit them where they can't see." For years, Earth had secretly worked on a technology the Empire thought was impossible. True stealth, a way to hide ships not just from sight, but from every sensor, every scan. Now, the first stealth fleet was ready. Small black ships, shaped like knives, floated silently inside hidden hangars. They had no bright lights, no noisy engines. They were ghosts, invisible to all Empire systems. Captain Aria Blake, the youngest and most fearless commander, was chosen to lead the fleet. She stood inside her ship, the Phantom One, her hand steady on the control. "Today we become their nightmare," she said softly. The mission was simple but dangerous. Fly the Phantom One close to one of the Empire's grand battleships, the Terror Rain, and prove that they could not be detected. If they succeeded, Earth would have a chance. If they failed, Earth would be wiped out before it could even fight. Inside the Phantom One, the air was tense. Every officer was silent, focused. Captain Aria stared at the screen as her ship slowly rose from the hidden base. Above Earth, in the blackness of space, the Terror Rain floated like a monster. Its metallic body was longer than 5 cities. Thousands of lights flashed on its surface. It was armed with guns bigger than mountains, and it was laughing at Earth. "Activate stealth mode," Aria ordered. A soft hum passed through the ship. On every Empire radar, Phantom One simply vanished. The small black ship moved silently through space. It passed Earth's broken satellites. It crossed the defense line the Empire had set up. No alarms, no shots fired. Inside the Empire's control room on the Terror Rain, officers joked and drank alien wine. They believed Earth was too scared to even move. They had no idea a ship was slipping right past their eyes. Closer and closer the Phantom One moved. At 100 kilometers, Aria whispered, "Hold steady." At 50 kilometers, her heart beat faster, but her hand did not shake. At 10 kilometers, they were flying next to the Terror Rain's massive gun turrets. One wrong move, and the Empire would crush them like a bug. But still, no detection, no reaction, just silence. Aria smiled slightly. "They can't see us," she said. Her crew smiled too, their eyes full of something Earth had not felt in months. Hope. Suddenly, on the Phantom One's screen, a giant window opened. The Empire's central command bridge was visible through their cameras. Empire officers, laughing and drinking, celebrating their power, celebrating Earth's death. But they were blind. Captain Aria leaned back in her chair. "Earth is not finished," she said. She pressed a button. A small tracking device shot out from Phantom 1 and stuck silently to the Terror Rain's hull. No alarms, no sound, no lights. "Mission complete." "Pull back," Aria ordered. As Phantom 1 turned, the music inside the ship changed. A slow, heavy drum beat started. The ship slid into the darkness of space, leaving behind a ghost on the Empire's flagship. Back on Earth, inside Project Phantom's base, the command team watched as the Phantom 1 returned. Cheers broke out. For the first time in a long time, Earth had struck back, and the Empire didn't even know it. The screen faded to black. Heavy music played, and a single line appeared. They laughed at Earth. Now, they won't see the blade coming. The Phantom 1 returned safely to the secret base under the Rocky Mountains. As the black ship landed silently, the engineers and soldiers gathered around it, their faces full of amazement and hope. Captain Aria Blake stepped out of her ship, her helmet under her arm. She looked calm, but inside, her heart was burning with excitement. Earth had done it. They had moved right under the Empire's nose, and the Empire had seen nothing. In the main command hall, Dr. Elena Cross stood by the large holographic map of the galaxy. The small blue dot of Earth was surrounded by hundreds of red Empire markers. It looked hopeless. But now, things had changed. Captain Aria walked up to her. "Phase 1 is complete," she said. They didn't even blink. Dr. Cross smiled, a rare thing these days. "Good. Now we prepare for Phase 2. A deep rumble of voices filled the room. Everyone knew what Phase 2 meant. Revenge. 3 years ago, when the Empire's scouts first arrived near Earth, the world had gone into panic. Governments fell. Countries fought each other for survival. Billions died not because of the Empire, but because of fear. In the middle of all this chaos, a secret group of scientists, engineers, and strategists had formed, calling themselves Project Phantom. They believed Earth could not match the Empire's strength by building bigger weapons. They had to think smarter. They had to become invisible. Now, after years of silent work, they had a weapon the Empire had no defense against. The stealth fleet, 30 ghost ships ready to strike anywhere, anytime. Training began immediately. In giant underground simulation rooms, the pilots of the stealth fleet practiced moving through enemy space, attaching explosives silently, and escaping without leaving a trace. Captain Aria personally led the drills. She was strict but fair. She pushed her pilots to their limits. "Speed is life," she shouted during one training session. "Silence is death to them. If you are seen, you are already dead." The pilots learned to fly so close to enemy targets that even the shadows could not catch them. They practiced flying between moving asteroids, inside clouds of cosmic dust, and through the wreckage of old battles. No one was allowed to make a mistake, because against the Galactic Empire, there would be no second chances. In the evenings, after long hours of brutal training, the commanders sat together in the war room. Large maps and holograms floated in the air, showing the Empire's main bases, supply lines, and fleet movements. "We can't fight all of them," said Commander Holt, an old war veteran. "We must cut off their lifelines." Dr. Cross nodded. "We will target their communication hubs, their fuel stations, and their food transports. Hit them where they are weakest." The plan was risky. If even one stealth ship was caught, the Empire would know about the technology and adapt. It had to be perfect. Meanwhile, the Empire grew lazy. Inside the great halls of the Terror Reign, the Empire's top generals laughed at Earth's silence. "They have accepted their fate," one general said, raising a glass of blood-red wine. "Earth knows it cannot stand against us." They did not notice the small trackers still attached to the Terror Reign's hull, feeding secret data back to Earth. They did not notice the whispers rising from their conquered planets, whispers of rebellion. They did not notice that Earth was moving quietly, like a blade in the dark. One night, inside the cold steel corridors of Project Phantom, Captain Area stood alone, looking up at the stars through a small glass window. She thought about her family, lost during the first Empire attack. She thought about the children of Earth, hiding in underground cities, afraid to see the sky. She thought about the future. "We cannot lose," she whispered. Behind her, Dr. Cross walked up quietly. "Everything is ready," she said. Area turned to her, her face like stone. "Then we strike." The next morning, Project Phantom came alive with energy. Ships were fueled. Weapons were loaded. Pilots wore their black stealth suits. Each ship carried not heavy guns, but smart bombs, designed to attach silently to enemy ships and destroy them from inside. It was not about killing millions. It was about breaking the Empire's pride. It was about making them fear the one thing they could not fight: the unseen. Captain Area gathered her team one last time before departure. She stood tall on the metal stage, looking at the brave faces before her. "They think we are weak," she said. "They think we are already dead. Let them laugh. Let them drink." She raised her fist. "Tonight, we make them remember Earth." The pilots roared in response. The engines of the stealth fleet fired silently. 30 black ships rose from the hidden base, blending into the darkness of space. Operation Silent Storm had begun, and the Empire had no idea death was already flying towards them. The stars above Earth blinked quietly as the stealth fleet moved into deep space. 30 black ships flew like silent shadows, their engines so quiet that even the nearest satellites couldn't pick up their movement. Inside the Phantom 1, Captain Area Blake watched her team's signals on the screen. Green dots, every ship in position. The operation had begun. Their first target was a small but important Empire outpost floating near Jupiter, Station K-47. It was not heavily guarded. The Empire believed Earth was broken. They believed no one would dare attack. They were wrong. Station K-47 was a supply hub. It held food, fuel, and communication gear for nearby Empire fleets. Destroying it would cause chaos. More importantly, it would send a message. Earth was not finished. Inside Station K-47, the Empire soldiers played games, slept at their desks, and laughed at Earth's weakness. No one was alert. No one was ready. They didn't see the black shadows approaching. Captain Area's voice came through the silent channel. "All units, engage." The stealth fleet split into groups of 3. Each group had a target: engines, fuel tanks, main power. Phantom 1 glided closer to the station's main reactor. The station lights blinked lazily in the dark. Cameras scanned the space outside but saw nothing. "Deploy charges," Area whispered. Her ship released small pods, magnetic explosives that silently attached themselves to the station's surface. Other ships did the same. Within minutes, Station K-47 was covered with invisible death. Still, no alarms rang. No shots fired. The Empire soldiers drank and laughed inside their walls, completely unaware. Inside the Phantom 1, Lieutenant Rafe smiled as he watched the countdown timer. 5 minutes to fireworks, he said. Captain Area stayed focused. "No mistakes," she said. "Pull back to safe distance." The stealth fleet began to drift away, slow and invisible. As they pulled back, a small Empire patrol ship happened to fly near. For a tense moment, the patrol passed close to Phantom 6. Inside Phantom 6, Pilot Harris held his breath. He did not move. He did not blink. The patrol ship's sensors scanned the area, but saw nothing. It moved away. Everyone exhaled silently. 3 minutes, said Raf. Captain Area stared at the dark shape of Station K-47 on the screen. "They think we are afraid," she said softly. "They think wrong." Inside Station K-47, an Empire officer suddenly noticed a strange signal on his console. "What is that?" he asked, frowning. He tapped the screen. Nothing. The signal disappeared. He shook his head and laughed. Just Earth junk. He went back to his card game. 1 minute, said Raf. The stealth fleet watched from a distance. 30 ships floating silently. The stars above them. The enemy below. Captain Aria's hand hovered over the trigger. Make them remember, she said. She pressed it. For a moment, everything was silent. Then, boom. Station K-47 exploded in a giant ball of fire and metal. Shockwaves tore through space. Pieces of burning wreckage shot out in all directions. The Empire patrol ship was hit by flying debris and spun out of control. Inside the Empire fleets nearby, alarms went crazy. What happened? Officers shouted. Who attacked? No ships detected. Chaos spread like fire. The Galactic Empire, so proud, so strong, was now panicking over an enemy they could not see. Inside Phantom 1, Captain Aria watched the burning ruins. Target destroyed, reported Raf with a smile. Good, said Aria. Now Phase 3. The fleet turned silently and moved deeper into Empire space. Across the Empire's communication networks, messages of fear and confusion spread. Station K-47, destroyed. No enemy detected. Possible sabotage. Unknown cause. Request reinforcements. Empire admirals barked orders. Generals demanded answers. But there was nothing. No enemy. No battle. Only fire and ash. The people of Earth, hidden in bunkers and underground cities, heard the news a few hours later. First, they thought it was a lie. Then they realized it was true. Station K-47, gone. Earth, still fighting. For the first time in months, people came out of hiding. For the first time in months, there was cheering in the streets. Children waved handmade flags. Elders cried openly. Hope returned like a long-lost friend. Inside Project Phantom, Dr. Elena Cross watched the burning footage of Station K-47 on the screen. She smiled. Good work, she whispered. But deep in her heart, she knew this was just the beginning. The Empire would not stay confused forever. Soon, they would realize they were under attack. Soon, they would hunt the stealth fleet with everything they had. The real war had just begun. Far away in space, the stealth fleet floated like black ghosts. Captain Aria Blake looked at the map of upcoming targets. We bleed them, she said. Slowly, silently. She leaned forward. Next target. Empire fuel convoys near Titan. Her crew nodded. Their faces were cold, determined. Earth's blade was now cutting deep, and the Empire's nightmare was only starting. The news of Station K-47's destruction spread like wildfire through the Galactic Empire. At first, no one believed it. Impossible, said Admiral Roth, standing inside the massive control room of the Terror Reign. Earth does not have the strength. But the burning wreckage floating around Jupiter proved otherwise. It was real, and no one knew how it had happened. Emergency meetings were called in every Empire fleet. Generals shouted. Admirals pointed fingers. Intelligence officers offered weak excuses. No enemy ships were detected. They repeated again and again. No warnings, no signs, nothing. The Empire, proud and powerful, was terrified by something they could not see, could not understand. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Empire felt fear. On Earth, deep inside Project Phantom's war room, the mood was very different. Dr. Elena Cross, Captain Aria Blake, and the senior commanders stood around a glowing map showing Empire supply routes. Fuel convoys, communication hubs, food transports. We hit them again, Dr. Cross said, her voice sharp. No rest, no mercy. Captain Aria nodded. Make them bleed until they can't fight. The next target was chosen. A critical fuel convoy near Saturn's moon, Titan. Without fuel, Empire ships would be stranded. Their fleets would slow down. Their control would weaken. Another silent attack. Another step toward freedom. In deep space, 3 Empire fuel ships moved slowly toward Titan, guarded by 2 small escort ships. The Empire commanders had heard of Station K-47's fall. They were nervous. Extra patrols were ordered. Scans were doubled. But it didn't matter. You cannot fight what you cannot see. Above them, like sharks in the dark ocean, the stealth fleet moved into position. Phantom 1 led the attack. Inside Phantom 1, Captain Area gave quick orders. Team Alpha, target the lead ship's engines. Team Bravo, cut the communication array. Team Charlie, disable the escorts. Silently, the black ships spread out. Charges were attached. No alarms rang. No warning flares fired. The Empire convoy floated helplessly, unaware. At Area's signal, the explosives detonated. In seconds, 2 fuel ships burst into flames. The escort ships tried to fight back, shooting blindly into empty space, but there was no target. Their shots vanished into the darkness. Within minutes, all ships were either destroyed or drifting dead. Empire Command was flooded with panicked reports. Convoy Titan 3, lost contact. Unknown attackers. No visual contact. No radar detection. Inside the Empire's High Council chambers, supreme leaders held a secret meeting. Their faces were grim. "This is not random," one said. "This is war," another whispered. They needed answers. They needed revenge. They needed to find the ghosts haunting their fleets. Fast. In response, the Empire launched Operation IronNet. 1,000 drones were deployed across the solar system. New scanners were activated to detect even the smallest signals. Elite hunter fleets were sent to patrol near critical areas. Rewards were offered for any information about the attackers. But no matter what they did, no matter how hard they searched, the stealth fleet remained unseen. The Empire swung wildly in the dark, hitting nothing. Their fear grew deeper. Their anger grew hotter. But they were helpless. Meanwhile, inside the hidden Earth base, the stealth fleet returned safely. Pilots celebrated quietly. No loud cheers. No bright lights. They knew the war had just started. Captain Area stood with Dr. Cross, looking at the next set of targets. "We are making them bleed," Area said. "But soon, they will strike back harder." Dr. Cross nodded. "We must be ready." They both knew it would not stay easy. The Empire was wounded now, and a wounded beast is always the most dangerous. In a dark Empire prison cell far away, a young Earth rebel, captured months ago, sat quietly. Suddenly, the guards came running in. They dragged him to the central command chamber. The Empire Admiral glared at him. "You will tell us what Earth has created," he shouted. The rebel just smiled. "You're already losing," he whispered. "You just don't see it yet." The guards beat him, but the rebel kept smiling, because he knew the truth. The Ghost Fleet was out there, and Earth's revenge had only just begun. Back in space, Phantom 1 and the Stealth Fleet floated among the stars, preparing for their next move. Captain Area's eyes burned with cold fire. "We hit them again," she said. "We hit them until they fall." And in the dark silence of space, the hunters moved once more. Unseen, untouchable, unstoppable. The Galactic Empire was bleeding. Their convoys were burning. Their stations were destroyed. Their fleets were afraid to move. And still, they had no idea who or what was attacking them. Inside the Empire's Grand Hall on the Terror Reign, Admiral Roth slammed his fist on the table. "This is an insult," he roared. "Earth is a dead world." But deep inside, even he felt a fear he could not admit. Earth was not dead. Earth was rising. And now, the final strike was coming. Inside the hidden Earth base under the Rocky Mountains, Project Phantom was ready for its last mission. In the dark war room, Captain Area Blake stood before her fleet. Their faces were tired but determined. Behind her, The holographic image of the Terror Rain floated in the air. The Empire's greatest and most powerful ship, a flying fortress, a symbol of their rule over hundreds of worlds. "If we destroy the Terror Rain," Aria said, her voice steady, "we destroy their spirit." The pilots nodded. They knew the risks. The Terror Rain was massive, heavily armed, and protected by an entire armada. A single mistake would mean death. But they had no choice. Earth's survival depended on this. The stealth fleet launched one last time. 30 ghost ships cutting silently through the darkness. Every pilot knew this could be their final flight. Every pilot accepted it. The Terror Rain floated near Mars, surrounded by dozens of Empire cruisers and defense drones. Its engines glowed like small suns. Its cannons pointed outward like the claws of a giant beast. Inside, the Empire commanders still laughed. They believed no one could touch them. They were wrong. Captain Aria's voice came over the silent channel. "Approach from the dark side of Mars. Shields at minimum. Weapons cold." The stealth fleet moved slowly, hidden by the planet's shadow. One by one, they slipped through the Empire's outer patrols. Empire scanners swept the space again and again, but detected nothing. Closer, closer, until the black ships were right under the nose of the Empire's mighty fleet. Still unseen, still silent. Inside Phantom 1, Aria's heart pounded, but her hands were steady. She spoke calmly. "Team Alpha, target main engines. Team Bravo, target shield generators. Team Charlie, target weapon systems." Each team broke off silently, gliding toward their deadly targets. Small magnetic bombs were planted carefully on critical points. The Terror Rain floated peacefully, its crew completely unaware that death was attaching itself to their skin. Inside the Empire's bridge, Admiral Roth stood looking at the stars. "Earth is finished," he said. He lifted his glass for a toast. Then, the universe exploded. Boom! The Terror Rain shook violently as the first wave of bombs detonated. Fire burst from its engine rooms. Shield generators cracked and died. Cannons froze, unable to fire. The Empire fleet around it panicked. Incoming attack. Where? From where? No ships detected. Chaos consumed the Empire's greatest pride. Captain Aria gave the final order. Phase 2, full assault. The stealth fleet fired their second wave, focused energy blasts aimed directly at the Terror Rain's weakened hull. The mighty ship trembled under the sudden rain of destruction. Inside, officers ran, alarms screamed. Systems failed one after another. Admiral Roth staggered, his uniform torn, blood running down his forehead. He screamed into the comms. "Find them! Destroy them!" But there was no one to find. No enemy to see. Only death in the darkness. Piece by piece, the Terror Rain tore apart. Massive explosions ripped through its decks. Escape pods launched in every direction. The Empire fleet tried to form a defense, but without leadership, they fell into confusion. Earth's silent hunters tore them apart, ship by ship. Inside Phantom 1, Rafe shouted, "Main reactor exposed." Captain Aria locked onto the final target. "Fire," she ordered. A single shot from Phantom 1 struck the Terror Rain's main reactor. For a heartbeat, everything went quiet. Then, the sky above Mars caught fire. A massive explosion swallowed the Terror Rain. The shockwave threw Empire ships into each other. The biggest, proudest symbol of the Galactic Empire was gone, turned to dust. Across Earth, in hidden cities and broken lands, people watched the news. First silence, then shouts, tears, laughter. They had done it. The impossible dream had come true. Earth had fought back, and won. Inside Phantom 1, Aria stared at the burning wreckage. Her voice was low but powerful. "This is for Earth." The stealth fleet, victorious, turned back toward home. They had lost some ships, brave pilots who would never return. But they had won something greater. Freedom. Back on the ruined Empire capital world, survivors whispered about the attack. No one knew how it happened. No one knew how Earth had survived. But one thing was certain. The mighty Galactic Empire would never forget the day when the insects they mocked became the monsters in the dark.